What's going on, guys? So we're about to talk about this, the book of Boba Fett. I love it, man. I love it. I love what they're doing with these new Star Wars shows. All right, let's see. I may wait and see if some other people come in. We'll see, man. But we definitely going to talk about this season one. This will be a spoiler review. So if you have not seen the finale, you may not want to chime in on this, or you may not want to listen in. So yeah, man, this new Boba Fett has been pretty good. Season one, the Book of Boba Fett on Disney Plus. I just watched the finale today. It came out today on Disney Plus. And overall, I thought it was a really good, really strong show. I had a few issues with it, but we'll get into that a little bit later in the review. So the Book of Boba Fett, man, it started off real. Episode one, man. Episode one, Boba Fett. This man it literally started off in pretty much the pits of hell, right? Boba Fett, he initially was knocked out by the Sarlacc, and he woke up in the dying Sarlacc's stomach. And so the first episode of Boba Fett, the main plot is that this guy is in his creature's stomach and he has to escape out of the creature, man. And that, I mean, shit just started off real. I was like, damn. So it started off with him having to escape out of there. So he actually, spoilers, like I said, this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen any of this, you may not want to. You may want to come back and listen at another time. So he ended up escaping from out of the Sarlacc's stomach, and I believe the Sarlacc's stomach acid was like, fucking him up, like burning his skin, his armor, and all this type of stuff. And so he was so damn tired after escaping it and depleted from the acid burns that this dude uh couldn't even stop getting robbed. So you had like the I think it was like one or two different groups. Like you had the Sand People, those little small alien race in Star Wars that was stealing this stuff, you know. And eventually he he was basically in a slavery. So he was in slavery with the Sand People, the Tuscan Sand tribes, right? And so he had nothing. His weapons, his armor, all of that stuff was gone. And so they really set the tone for the show and really laid a good foundation for a series. He pretty much started the series off with nothing, and he was in slavery. So there's only 7 episodes of the series. It's an hour an episode, and so he starts off in that Sarlacc stomach, escapes, and eventually he gets put into slavery with the Tuscan sand tribes. Which, if you know anything about that group, basically that was the same uh, group on Tatooine that Anakin Skywalker's mom was enslaved by, basically. Um, and so, that's pretty much the first episode. I'm not gonna go episode for episode, but I'll just kind of break it down as quickly as I can and just give my 2 cents on it. So you pretty much had two timelines going on. You had the past timeline, which he was with the Tuscan Sand tribes, and then you had the present timeline, which he was actually on Tatooine as a basically a mob boss, so to speak, right? And so the other timeline is he's a mob boss, and it's him, and it's the character from that was with him in the Mandalorian, right? Let me see, what is her name? Let's see. So it was Boba Fett, and that's pretty much, you could say that's like his lieutenant, right? They helped the Mandalorian out in the Mandalorian season 2, I believe, right? So yeah, you had them on Tatooine. He's basically replacing the previous mob boss or the previous crime boss on Tatooine. As of course the original mob boss that we know from the original Star Wars series. And so you know, that is something that was very, very interesting, right? Um, so it started off with as her as a supporting character, you know. And so you're kind of pinging back and forth through most of the series. Her name is Fennec Shan, and she's like this, crazy assassin and stuff like that. Of course, you know that Boba Fett is a legendary bounty hunter, and he in the original Star Wars series, he was like he worked directly under Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, that is the two timelines that we were dealing with in the series. And so the first series, man, is very interesting because you're getting Boba Fett at his lowest, man. Like it's almost like a video game where you just start out with nothing and you have to build up your way throughout the whole game. You know what I'm saying? They stripped him of his armor, his jetpack, all that stuff. And so this dude is in slavery with the Tuscan tribes on the sands from the sands of Tatooine, right? And throughout the first half of the series, he's enslaved and he's basically having to deal with slavery. And so what happens is a story arc in that timeline is basically he has to win these people over and basically earn his way out of slavery. And so I think the first catalyst that happens throughout the series is actually when he actually saved the one of the children from this large animal that was in the sand. So he kills this animal. I think he used some type of one of those. They have like these spears that they have. He killed this animal, and the child goes and pretty much tells everybody what happens, how he saved his life, et cetera, et cetera. And this basically he basically gets himself out of slavery within the first 2 or 3 episodes through that, right? Because they have him and the other slaves that are digging for these little black balls that have some type of fluid in it. It's like a melon, basically like a black melon. And so this big worm comes out of there. It's like this big, monster type thing. And he saves the kid. So the kid goes back and they go back to the village and he tells him how they have saved their life from this huge worm type thing. And so at that point, they pretty much take him out of slavery and let him kind of become a part of the tribe. And they actually take their best warrior, and their best warrior starts training him how to fight with these type of spears, type staff, type weapons that they use. It's like these wooden spears. And so he starts training with them. They actually get to a point where they make him really a part of the tribe. Like they actually give him their clothing. They actually at one point go through this whole ritual. Yo, this was deep as hell, right? So they had this whole ritual that they go through where he got to get high. Like they put this damn worm up his nose where it makes him like hallucinate and stuff. And he has to go pick this piece of the tree to make his own spear or staff or whatever you want to call it, right? And so he has to go out, pick this piece of branch, and then he brings it back to the village. And after that, they take the worm back out of his nose, and he actually has to go to like this wood shop that they had somewhere in the desert, and he has to create his own spear or his own staff or whatever you want to call it, right? And so I thought that was cool. Like basically he was ingratiated in their culture, and he was trained how to fight like them with the staff slash spear weapon and all of these type of things, right? And so meanwhile, on the other timeline, you're seeing that. I mean, I like both timelines because the first timeline when he's enslaved, it shows that his journey, and it shows him like being in a very difficult spot and getting out of that and actually becoming a part of that culture and basically becoming family to those people, living like them, learning their ways and embracing their ways and their culture. Um, so that was very, very interesting. But on the other timeline, what you have is you have him and the female assassin that you've seen him with in the Mandalorian. What's her name? Her name is Fennec Shan, right? It's the Asian chick. She is a very popular assassin in this world. And so he's pretty much dealing with being the new crime boss. And so it starts off with him asking for tribute from all of the people in the surrounding areas as well as the mayor. And so, what eventually happens is the mayor doesn't show up, he doesn't give tribute, and he sends his kind of like a secretary type thing, right? Or like his chief of staff. And so he end up going pay the mayor a visit. And so, I'm just kind of fast forwarding a lot of this stuff. I'm not really going into detail because I don't want this to be very long. But eventually, what you come to find out is that the mayor is not willing to cooperate with him. He actually doesn't give him tribute. What happens is he has assassins that try to that do attack him in Phoenix Shad, and they survived that assassination attempt, and they're trying to figure out who sent the assassins. Basically, they're trying to figure out who sent the assassin, who tried to assassinate Boba Fett, and you know that's that storyline. That's how it all kind of kicks off on that storyline. So eventually you find out is that you have the Spice Syndicate, right? You have them in both timelines. On one timeline, you have them coming into the city on the present timeline, and they're running Spice in Tatooine. And on the other timeline, you actually have them running Spice on Tatooine, but they're getting into gunfights with his tribe. And so what he does is he actually finds these bicycles. He steals these like air bicycles, teaches the Tusken tribe how to ride them. And so they had a few people that got shot and killed when the train came with the syndicate spice runners. And so he got these bikes, and they made a plan to take down the whole damn train. And so let me tell you how fire this was, though, right? So they take down the whole train, they send the people back and tell your people that we want to negotiate. And so they say, okay, we'll negotiate. You can run spice here, but you have to pay us for protection since this is our area. And so the guy says, okay, we'll pay you for protection, but we already paying this other group. And so the other group was this speed bike gang. And so what happens is while he's negotiating with him, he gets back to the tribe, and the speed bike gang has killed the actual tribe. His whole tribe is wiped out. Like you have the little emblems of the speed bike gang, like put all over the where their camp was and stuff like that. Um, and so yeah, of course, he's been with these people for a while. He embraced that culture. He was ingratiated in that culture. He trained in their culture. He went through all of these different rituals as a part of their culture. And so he was furious. And so his thing was to pretty much get revenge on them. And so meanwhile, throughout the series, it was very, very great series. One of the things that I did like, so a lot of people were upset, and they're used to Boba Fett being a younger Boba Fett, and they just wanted this badass dude that just killed 100 people, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But what I like is that they gave you a much older, more mature Boba Fett. So he was less of a bounty hunter and more of a crime boss. He, thought things out. He was not shoot first and ask questions later. Even though he did have some emotional points in there, you could tell where him being under the tutelage and being like the right hand guy, the right hand henchman of Darth Vader paid dividends. It shows you where he was able to look at Darth Vader and look at Emperor Palpatine and the moves that they made, and it kind of made him become a lot more crafty and clever instead of just all muscle and all brute and no thinking, no intellectual discourse, no diplomacy. And so that's one thing that I really enjoyed about this show, because it showed a different Boba Fett. Now remember, this is a Boba Fett. I don't know the actual time difference between the last Star Wars movie, but this is a much older Boba Fett. So he's understanding, like, okay, it's not just about you know blowing someone up with a missile. It's not just about hitting someone with a blaster. It's also about thinking strategically and moving in a strategic fashion as a boss of that area, of that planet, right? And so that's one of the things I really loved about this show, is that it showed a different side to Boba Fett. And so this show, I mean, really, this show does not have a whole lot of action. Like, it does have its action parts, but the most action was really at the finale. Um, and so, yeah, on the point of Boba Fett being more intellectual and being more strategic, one of the things I really liked about the show was you got to see Boba Fett start from the bottom and work his way up. It actually showed you how he met and helped his lieutenant, the Asian assassin lady, Fennec Shad. It showed you how he helped her and how she kind of, pledged herself and decided to help him as a way of repaying her or as a way of repaying him for saving her life. So yeah, I really like that aspect of the show. It showed you how he built his syndicate from scratch. Like, it literally started with him, his lieutenant Fennec Shad, and he eventually he got two kind of orc looking creatures with swords. Um, and so further down in the show, he actually had another assassination attempt on his life. And so he had Jabba the Hutt. So he actually used to work for Jabba the Hutt, to my knowledge, at some time, or at least he did bounties for him, right? He Jabba. I think it was Jabba the Hutt's cousins or nephew and niece. It was these two twins that were, of course, the same race as Jabba the Hutt. And so they came and tried to negotiate with him, and they put an assassination on his life. And this was one of the coolest characters in his series. I love this character, right? I think his name is Tristan or Trishan. And so it's a black fur Wookiee that used to be a damn gladiator on another planet somewhere, man. And this was a badass character. So this is a big ass black fur Wookiee with a big ass blaster. This dude has these brass knuckles that have electricity coming from him. I'm like, yo, this character is like, like, damn, that's a scary ass character, right? And so they actually send him to try to kill him. And so, previously in the show, he actually recruited some kids that were causing trouble earlier. So it was like some younger kids in the city. He recruited about 10, 15 of them. Like they were, I think they were stealing water from this guy. And so instead of, hurting them or something like that, he actually gave them a job, right? He gave them a job. And so they worked with him. So now he had the two orcs that was on his team. Of course, for Shad, his lieutenant, he had the two orcs, and he had about 9 or 10 like kids with blasters and motorcycles that was on his team. And so in one of the episodes, the black fur Wookiee Tristan, or I don't know how to pronounce the name, to be honest, but he tried to assassinate him. So he took him out of the damn back of tank and was choking his ass. And so he didn't have no blasters, no jetpack, or nothing. The only thing he was trying to fight his ass with that spear staff that he got from the tribes that he was with in the deserts of Tatooine. And so, of course, all of these people are fighting this one damn Wookiee, man. This shit was so crazy. And so they eventually throw his ass in the they eventually throw him in the Rancor pit, which he was all scared as hell, but nobody knew that they didn't have no damn Rancor in there, right? And so what they found out was that the syndicate from the other timeline was actually promised to be the new crime bosses of the planet. And so the mayor had Boba Fett. He had two twins, that were relatives of Jabba the Hutt. He had all three of them thinking that they were promised the territory and a position as the basically as a new crime boss, right? And so what actually happened was the mayor actually made a deal with the crime syndicate that was running Spice. And so after Boba Fett defeated the black fur Wookiee, the relatives of Jabba the Hutt, they actually came and told him, like, hey, we're getting the hell off planet. We've been lied to. We thought we were promised this territory, but the syndicate is coming, and so we're getting the hell out of here. It's not even worth the war. Tatooine is not even worth the war type situation. And so what happened was they gave him his tribute, and they gave him I think it was a baby Rancor and a trainer. And so now the Rancor pit is no longer empty, right? So he's able to have that asset as a Rancor. And since they're not going to war no more, they didn't need the black fur Wookiee. And so he just walks off and he lets him go, because he was gonna give him back to the the Hutts, but they was like, take it as a gift type thing. And so eventually throughout the series, he actually recruits the black fur Wookiee on his team. So now this dude has his lieutenant Fennec Shad. He has the two ogres, the two green ogres. He has the kids that he hired off the streets with their motorcycles and blasters, right? And now he has a black fur Wookiee on his team. Now, so this is actually the part that I have a problem with. I really have a problem with the last, not the finale, but the 2 episodes for the finale, right? So The last, I think it's like the last. I think it's episode 5, 4, and 5. It shows you how you bet your not for knock. Basically, she got shot by someone, and he spent this money to help her get. Uh, Pretty much, he saved her life. He went to this place, and they basically turned her into an android to save her life. And so she pledged herself to him. And so the other thing was she helped him get his ship from out of the I believe that he got his ship from the crime boss in Tatooine, and pretty much killed him and took his place, right? So the issue that I have though is the episode 5 and 6. They literally had they literally showed Boba Fett like all of 2 episodes. I mean, all of like 10 seconds in those 2 episodes. So you have 2 hours of episodes that was basically about Mando and his relationship. So the Mandalorian, it was about his relationship with the with Grogu, the little baby Yoda, right? And so that those 2 episodes is about him and his relationship with Grogu, going to uh like he it went into some more of the dark saber lore, and he and Mando had a duel with one of his Mandalorians, right? One of the people, the guy said that the dark saber was crafted by his ancestors, and so he had a duel with him. He won the duel, but it was exposed that he showed his face, right? It was exposed that he showed his face, and it exposed that he showed his face. So the lady pretty much rebuked him from the tribe, right, from his people, saying that this is not the way. So we she kind of banished him basically. But he did have a badass intro scene, man. He had a scene. It started off with him where he killed this group of people. He was like, I don't have no problem with y'all, but y'all boss, I need him, right? He had a bounty on him. He was like, I could bring you in hot or I could bring you in cold. And so he wound up getting into a fight with all those guys. And then the next, I mean, that was pretty much the gist of the episode. The next episode, it was his conflict. He made armor, like Veal armor, for Grogu, and he went to visit him. And you see Grogu and Luke Skywalker like training on the planet, and you actually see these robots building the Jedi school, from which you see in the Star Wars movie, the newest trilogy, right? So I was very okay. So I enjoyed those episodes, but I was just very disappointed that they would put that footage in when this is Boba Fett. This is the book of Boba Fett. This isn't the Mandalorian. And so you seen Luke Skywalker, and you also seen the other Jedi, like the Jedi who was with Anakin Skywalker. She's like the alien with the orange, played by the black Afro Latina actress. I can't remember her name right now. So you seen her in these episodes, and you seen Mando get a brand new ship, which it was like it was like a souped up old Republic ship and everything. I mean, it was well done. The story was good, the acting was good, the dialogue was good, but I just felt like what we were seeing was misplaced. It basically felt like spoiler episodes to me, because it really did not progress the Boba Fett storyline at all. I mean, you literally seen Boba Fett maybe 5 seconds, if that, throughout those 2 episodes, and that's 2 hours of no Boba Fett. And that, out of anything about this series, really disappointed me that they would kind of diverge from the actual storyline for two entire episodes. I mean, the one thing I did like about those episodes is that it introduced one of the characters from the Clone Wars, like the animated Star Wars. That was one thing that I really liked. You did have some cameos. Well, like I said, with the other Jedi, Luke Skywalker, and you also had a cameo with Cobb Vent. He's from the Mando series. He's in the Mandalorian series. He actually had the um the Mandalorian armor, right? And so they had Kai Vent, and probably the most surprising, like I said, they had the character from the Clone Wars animated series, which was none other than Cade Bane, which I really like this character. I think between Cade Bane and Tristan, the Black Fur Wookie, those are probably two of my favorite new characters introduced to the screens for the first time. Even though Cobb Van't was I mean not Cobb Van't, even though Cad Bane was in the animated series, he was never in live action. And it just showed I really like the voice actor for this character. He was very dope. It's something about his voice that is just menacing, man. And I really like this character as a villain. And so he was pretty much the muscle for the syndicate. And so he was trying to tell that episode was the Mandalorian. He pledged to help Boba Fett by trying to get some more foot soldiers. And so he went to Cobb Van't to try to convince the people of Freetown to fight with him against the syndicate. And Cad Bane came and shot the deputy and shot the marshal, who was Cobb Van't. And so he shot both of them, which I'm pretty sure they're probably going to be dead or at least seriously injured. And he told them, as long as the spice keep running, I'll let you live. So now that was a really good episode, but like I said, I was very disappointed about the lack of screen time with this episode. Okay, so the finale episode 7. Really, I was as disappointed I was with episode 5 and 6. Episode 7 really made up for those two filler, what I consider filler episodes, right? Episode 7, the finale, man, I really love this episode because you got to see all of the foundation that was laid in previous episode finally come to a head. You got to see everything like played out, and there was a lot of action involved. And so the end of episode 7, after Cod Bane shot Cobb Van't, the little kind of like the little club that they had with the alien chick, the pink chick, it got blown up by like a bomb, right? And so what happens is, it kind of starts from there. Boba Fett and everyone looking at the damage, and so what you find out in this episode is that it was never the speed biker gang that actually killed the Tuscan Raiders or the Tuscan tribes, right? It was actually the syndicate that killed them and made them look like it was the speed bikers that killed them, right? And so, you have Cod Bane pretty much strategizing with the syndicate leader, as well as Boba Fett, Mando, Shid Fanak, and the what's the guy's name? The mayor's second in command. They're all at the sanctuary and looking, and so they come up with a strategy. They have the biker gangs in one part of the city or in one area. They have the Black Fur Wookiee in one area, and they have the ogres in another area looking for syndicate people. And so what happens is, I think it was a couple episodes back, Boba Fett made a made a pact with the other syndicates within the planet, and the pact was, as long as they step aside and don't do anything, he'll get rid of the syndicate, because he was, pretty much he was saying like, okay, I mean, if they kill me, they gonna come for you next and take over. And so I'm not even asking y'all to ally with me. I just need you not to interfere. Like, don't join their side, and I'll take care of them and get them off the planet because they're locals to the planet, right? That's their home, right? And this syndicate is not from their planet. And so what you find out is that they actually laid a trap for them. And so each of the people that he made pacts with end up ambushing all of his people that were on the lookout in different parts of town. And so, the syndicate soldiers attack the ogres. They attack the black furred Wookiee, and they also attack the gang that he hired off of the streets, which was like the younger kids on the motorcycles, right? And so all of them get attacked by these gangs, and so you have a big thing where Kai Bane actually approaches Boba Fett, and he tries to convince them to fight right then and there. He actually tries to draw them out while they're outnumbered, and so but Boba Fett doesn't fall for it, right? And so while this ambush is happening, he pretty much sends his lieutenant, the Asian assassin, to go and try to cut the head off the snake, basically, because he at this point he's like, man, I'm about to lose all of my people. The last thing I could try to do is to kill the leader of this whole thing, right? And so you have this big battle throughout the whole entire thing. You had the syndicate that comes up to Boba Fett, and he played off like they're gonna have a truce. And so him and Mando are fighting them by themselves, but they're pretty much they're pretty much getting outnumbered, even though they're putting up quite a hell of a fight. But it's like 30-2 basically. And so while that's going on, he has the rest of his people that's a part of his syndicate. They're dealing with being outnumbered by the other crime, the other crime families in that region that betrayed Boba Fett. And so his second command, Phoenix, his second command, she comes and actually saves the bikers. She saves them. She ambushes the guys that's attacking them, and they all escape. Unfortunately, the two ogres, they get pushed off a damn cliff, and so the black fur Wookiee, he's pretty much gets toppled by this whole group of people. Like, they're literally covering his whole body up, like stabbing him and all this type of stuff. And so you have this whole battle, man. It was really worth the wait. Like, I would say like 70 to 80% of the episode was pretty much them. It was pretty much them fighting the whole episode. And so, him and Mando, they're about to kind of get overrun by the syndicate. And, lo and behold, the biker gangs come. No, not the biker gangs. Lo and behold, the people of Freetown come strolling in to come help them out. Because it's like they're fighting these groups. They're killing them. But more and more people, it's like more, every time they kill people, like 10 more pop up in their place, like whack-a-mole. And so the people of Freetown come, save them. They come in this, with the big guns. It's about 20 of them, 15, 20 of them. And so they take out the syndicate. But then the syndicate starts retreating, and Mando flips out his heat sensor, or his heat vision, or whatever you want to call it, right? And he sees that they got these damn robots coming. And so you pretty much have these robots with the big guns on them. And they have the energy force field, and so they shooting at the robots, you know what I'm saying? And none of what they're doing is able to stop the shield. And at this time, the biker gang, or the bikers that they got from the street kids, they come and help them too. But it's like, they're pretty much done because they're shooting them with blasters, and nothing is working with the shield. And so at this point, they have to retreat. They're like, man, Mando and Boba Fett, they pretty much use themselves to kind of distract the robot so everyone else can leave, right? And so Boba Fett says, I'm gonna go get some more help, you know, take care of them. Like basically telling Mando to cause a distraction. And you had so much stuff in this episode. So, pretty much for like the next 20 minutes is them trying to distract the uh the um the robots, and they're trying to figure out how to destroy them, but nothing is working because their energy weapons is being deflected by the shield. And so, at some point Grogu comes, or the airplane pilot or the spaceship pilot, she comes and she has Grogu in the little carriage with her and stuff like that. And so that's like, the next 20 minutes they're just running from these robots until my favorite part of this episode, my favorite part of this series, my man Boba Fett comes in battle riding a goddamn rancor. Yes, sir. And so when he come with that damn rancor, man, that was such an epic that was such an epic moment. He's got the rancor with the chain leashes on it, you know what I'm saying? And he comes and attack that first robot, like, the rancor is pushing his hands through the shield, and Mandalorian is trying to get on the backside. So while he's doing that, the Mandalorian comes behind it, gets through the shield, takes out his what do you call it? His dark saber, and like slices up the robot, right? To save the day. And then the rancor comes and just he's fighting the daggone the robot, man, and he's just like ripping it apart and everything, man. This was an epic moment, man. And so you have that. Like I said, this episode had a lot of action. There was a lot going on. And so you had the second android that they had to deal with. Of course, the rancor comes and demolishes that. You actually had Grogu use the Force to save the Mandalorian at some point before the rancor actually came. He took a screw out of it and made it kind of clumsy. So they destroyed the second. They destroyed the second rancor, and hey, the battle is pretty much won. And so now that they took out the androids, it also cuts to, guess who shows up out of nowhere? Cad Bane. And so when I tell you this motherfucker's so cold, it's a cold ass villain. This man Boba Fett rode up him with a rancor, and Cad Bane did not even flinch. Like, he was not scared at all. This man put out his flamethrower. He put out his hand flamethrower and got that rancor up out of there. He got that he shot that flamethrower, and that rancor was gone, man. It knocked Boba Fett down to the ground. And so they exchange words, and of course they draw down. Cad Bane is like, I'm faster than you, and Boba Fett is like, well, but I have armor and you don't. And so they going at it. Cad Bane gets the better of him at first, and so you think, damn, Boba Fett about to get murked, and Boba Fett takes that spear stab that he got from his indigenous tribe, man, and whips his ass with that damn stab, bro. I'm like, yes, let's go, man. And so the last part of it, that was I love that moment too, man, because that was a good ass villain, bro. Real talk, that was a real good villain. Even the voice actor of this guy was dope. And so the last thing is the damn rancor. Now that it has the fire, while he's going at it with Cad Bane, you have Mando trying to get the damn rancor under control. And so what happens is Grogu actually uses the Force to put him to sleep, and so they handle that. And so, after he put the rancor to sleep, Boba Fett defeats Cad Bane with the staff spear, stabs him in the chest. And And the last part of that is you see his second in command, Phoenix Shot. She kills all of the other crime bosses. She kills the mayor in the final, the syndicate boss. She kills all of these guys, and I ain't gonna lie, man. I thought that was gonna be Boba Fett at first, because that seems something like Boba Fett would do. But we know that he's older, more mature now, so he's not gonna exert as much energy. He's more, about effectiveness. He's more about technique. He's not about exerting that energy. Like the fastest, simplest way to get it done, he's gonna get it done. Um, and so yeah, she kills all of the bosses, and the day is saved. You see him and his syndicate. They're walking the streets. Everybody in town is cheering them on. You got some people that came and gave him a basket of fruit. Also, you have the just everybody happy that they're victorious, and that he has rightfully secured his spot as the crime boss of the Da, or the Damu, as they say in Tatooine, as the Damu of Tatooine, right? And so, yeah, man, that was very dope, man. It was a really good season finale. It was a really good season finale. I enjoyed it. It was really incredible. It was great, man. It was a lot of action, and I thought it was good because you had action in each episode almost, but it wasn't a whole lot of action. But this finale, it was filled with action. I mean, it was like nothing but action in this episode. So that's my review of Boba Fett. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the only disappointment I really had was the not the last episode, not the finale, but the two episodes before the finale. To me, they really felt like filler episodes. Like they really felt like they could have been episodes of The Mandalorian, right? But that finale did not it did not disappoint. It was incredible. It was a really good job. I'm looking forward to season 2. I really enjoy seeing this different older version of Boba Fett. I really enjoy seeing you know, him be more intelligent and crafty, as opposed to just using his fighting skills in every situation. I enjoyed seeing him try to be diplomatic. I enjoyed seeing him try to make alliances and being strategic in what he did. And so it was really well done. But that finale, man, that was one of the most exciting, exhilarating finales I've ever seen, man. It was just battles upon battles, like twists and turns, all of these type of things really made it a great finale. So yeah, that is my spoiler review of season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett. I hope you guys like it. Leave a comment below and tell me what you think. Leave a comment below and tell me what you think about the book 2, or the Book of Boba Fett. And yeah, man, hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.